Hey everybody, it's Mike from Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundWave Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Me Molson Zia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook, coming soon, Missing 2 by Me Molson Zia. Double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, now on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner, and the Sensei of Swaying Eric Dunn was the latest All of Me, and new music coming soon. EricDimemusic.com. We're here with an amazing couple, singer, songwriter, retired couple from Torquay, UK. We'll find out where that is. They met online after death of both of their respective partners with common musical interests like John Martyn, Little Feat, etc. And they formed this wonderful band in Christmas of 16 with a gentleman who is a lead vocalist and also guitarist, born in the military family, joined a Navy band, but land-based and born in Singapore, and also a wonderful lady who's a bass guitarist, vocalist from Southell, West London, working in design engineering after leaving college, a loyal following on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and they got some music out there, which we'll play 3 at the end of the audio interview. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios, somewhere southwest in the UK, the amazing singing-songwriter duo from Torquay, UK. We've got Simon and Helen of Midnight 5-6. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep, it's early afternoon here, but it's not long after breakfast for you, I guess.
Well, I have a little breakfast right now as we speak here, so yeah, so well, we got our morning coffee, morning tea, our biscuits and pancakes, everything out of the way. If you want to have lunch, that's fine. You guys are a retired couple, singing, songwriting duo, and from Torquay, UK. You guys met online after death of both your partners with common musical interests, including John Martyn, Little Feat, and more. You guys formed Midnight 5-6 around Christmas of 2016. And Simon, you're the lead vocalist and guitarist, born in military family, joined Navy, but land-based, born in Singapore. And Helen, you're a bass guitarist, vocalist from Southell, West London. You worked as a design engineer after leaving college. You guys are loyal following on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, more. We'll be talking about 3 songs: When, Wishing I Was Gone, The Sea, and Ooh, that's a good song. Before we have all that, tell us how you first got started.
Well, back in the day here in the UK, there was a weekly pop music magazine on television called Top of the Pops.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1970, so back in the Stone Age, I saw David Bowie with his band, the Spiders from Mars. And I noticed that because David Bowie was famously androgynous, a lot of the young men were paying a lot of attention to him, but the young women were paying a lot of attention to his lead guitar player, Mick Ronson. And I thought, hey, that's the way to go. So
pay attention to the guitars. I love it.
So I scraped together some money and bought a truly horrible guitar, but it was bright red. And the girls in the neighborhood thought it was very cool. And when I could actually pick out a tune and sing a bit, they were all over me like a rash. And I thought, oh yes, I've hit pay dirt. This is the jackpot. And that's the way it's been ever since.
Oh my gosh, that is something. Boy, I wish I'd done that years ago. Just grab a guitarist and try to get women, but I guess seems to be a better ticket. Things work out better too. So, and you're also born in a military family. You joined the Navy, but you're also land-based. You were born in Singapore as well too.
Yes, my dad was a career soldier. He joined in 1937, so he was already in when the last war broke out. And in 1950, he was relocated to Singapore. And I appeared in 1955. And he was a staff sergeant. Now, I know that the ranks in the US military are very similar to ours, but a staff sergeant in the British Army is a guy in charge of 150 other guys. It's one down from a sergeant major. Okay. So he had a pretty responsible job. You'd have never thought if you'd met him, because he was a very small, thin man, but he did have a big voice.
And Simon has inherited that for sure.
I was the equivalent in the British Navy. I was a petty officer, which is like a senior sergeant. So quite used to shouting at people. Well, that's the way it was in those days.
Mm-hmm. Right. And of course, things are a lot different and everything else. And what was it one precise moment for you, Simon, that simply influenced you, what you do in the rest of your career, besides the guitar and everything? What was that one exact moment that simply said, this is it?
It was probably the Bowie moment. And then later on, when I'd managed to work out a few of the current pop hits of the day from groups like Bowie, Slade, The Sweet, and so forth. And I thought, yeah, this is really where it's at. And when I was in the military, I never once bought a beer. As long as I played a tune, there would be a line of beers waiting for me. And then I thought, when I came out of the military, I joined the administration. I worked in what here we call local government.
Mm-hmm.
And for some years, I did it semi-professionally. So I had a daytime job, and then 2 or 3 evenings a week, I was out in the bars and in the hot spots playing stuff. And I was very lucky that I went to a grammar school, and a guy that was 2 years above me was Wilco Johnson. And he, of course, was the guitar player in Dr. Feelgood.
Okay.
Who, this side of the pond, were pretty famous in their day. And he lined me up with a contact here and a contact there. And gradually it got to the point where in 1995, I thought, you know what? I've had enough working for the man. I'm now going to work for me.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. And at its peak, I guess I'm just trying to do a rapid calculation. A basic day was about $700 a day plus expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything went over into the evening, they paid for dinner, they paid for a hotel. And given that most contemporary songs are written on very similar chord structures, and I've played this to Helen, an old English nursery rhyme, Who Killed Cock Robin, and Bohemian Rhapsody, are written on exactly the same chords. Played at different speeds, but they're the same chords. And once you kind of figure that, you think, wait a minute, some guy's only got to tell me this is in the key of A, and off you go, because you know it's going to be very similar.
Okay.
So it's like, it might even be an American style. It's like stealing candy from a baby.
Right, yes. Uh-huh.
Dead easy.
That's a lot of talent there.
Well, it's not for me to say. I feel competent now, but I have been playing 55 years.
That is so amazing. And besides David Bowie and quite a few others, who are some of other famous singers, your favorite singers, songwriters, musicians growing
up?
The Eagles.
Definitely the Eagles. When I heard those harmonies, I thought, oh yeah, this is where it's at. It's one of the things I love. We can't do it, but that 4-part harmony is really quite special. But I guess people often say to me, who's your favorite act? And I don't really have one. If I listened to something twice, it meant I liked it. If I listen to it a third time, somewhere along the line, I'm going to steal a little bit of that and put it in something I wrote.
I think
don't let this one kid you. She's talented too. She's only been playing since 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay. I was going to ask you about that, Helen. You're a bass guitarist, vocalist from Southell, West London, worked design engineer, and leaving college. And tell us how you first got started, Helen.
Well, I always had a guitar since I was in sort of high school. but never met anybody who could play guitar as well. It was very strange. So I've always had a guitar, but never really figured out what music was all about. I always used to think there were special scales for rock music and that. And then online, I met Simon after my partner had died, and he was trying to record some CDs, but he was doing it multi-tracking on a little Tascam recorder.
Okay.
So he was doing the vocal, the guitar, and the bass all on separate layers. But what blew me away, and this was in his bedroom in his home, but I had been to the Nebworth Festival in the UK in about 1982 and saw Leonard Skinner playing there. And there seemed to be about a dozen people on stage. It was an incredible event. But there was Simon playing Sweet Home Alabama
Nice.
on his electric guitar and coming up with this sound, which I thought, hey, that is incredible. But it was a bit lacking in a bit of depth. So he said, well, how about playing bass to help me out here? So we went through Argos, which is like
it's like a big online shopping store here where you can get everything for the home, for music, TVs, stereo, everything like that.
And what's the name of it? Argos?
Argos, yes.
Yeah. ARGOS.
RATOS. Okay.
Like Walmart, I think it might be a catalogue. Anyway, it was a very cheap guitar, but Simon said, well, you don't have to spend a lot of money. And I had a go at it. And we tried to learn a John Martyn song, which had 3 chords in it, G, D, and C.
G, D, and A.
Oh, G, D, and A. And I could not get it right.
It's a very famous song called May You Never.
Okay.
And I just plugged away, and eventually I got it. And it just took off from there, really. But I still use that cheap Argos space today.
It's not even so very cheap. I mean, you can get something that's quite playable for just, to use your terminology, a couple of $100. This thing is considerably more expensive than that. I keep trying to tempt Helen with something like Uber, really high end. And a few years ago, I bought her a handmade Gibson bass.
Nice.
But, yeah. Oh, yeah. It really is a beauty. But she prefers this other one. She said it feels better. What are you going to do?
Exactly. You're right. It's like, it's what do you call it? Some people are fit for this, some people are fit for that, and everything like that. And Helen, what was that one exact precise moment for you that simply influenced you, what you do in the rest of your career?
Say again.
I said, what was that one exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
Really meeting Simon, meeting a musician who I got on with, and and who I thought wrote really good songs and gave me the confidence, because up to then I really couldn't figure out what was going on at all. But in many ways, he made it. I realised it wasn't as difficult as I was thinking, and then we started doing these CDs. Our idea was to put a lot of the songs that he was doing copies up till then,
cover versions,
and we decided we'd record some CDs. And at the time, we thought, well, we're cutting edge doing
Yeah.
CDs rather than vinyl or cassettes. And then when we had made them and sent them round to our friends, half of them said, well, the only way we can play this is in our car.
And even that isn't anymore. I don't think anybody even has a CD player now.
Well, I do have to confess, I still have one. I prefer CDs in there. It's like they're handy. There's something you can pop in. And if you try to find something on Sirius XM while you're driving, it's like, come on with this song, this song, this song. It's like, you know, if I have my, I just say, hey, can you play this tune or that tune? I hope somebody's listening out there in the audio industry and say, hey, can you play this tune? And automatically it'll cut off what you're having on Sirius XM just to play that tune. I hope somebody's listening out there. So
I do think, I feel sad for young people these days, young adults, because I remember at grammar school, one Monday morning, I walked into school carrying my precious brand new copy of the double live album, Grand Funk Railroad Live.
Oh, yes, that's a classic.
They were going, whoa, dude. And that's the way it was. We used to go round each other's houses, play each other's records. Kids can't do that now. And I think that's sad.
That is, yeah. It's like their versions, you know, hey, I got my phone and everything like that they could lose. But you're right, having albums like that. I mean, I've got a collection right over here, and I wish I could just move my thing over and, you know, still have a turntable, and I'll get to play vinyl from time to time. But yeah, you're right. It's like you have that, or you walk around with the boombox, your favorite tape in there, or you show up. But yeah, you're right. It's sad.
Yeah.
Yes, and nowadays you just can't tell. You know, it used to be walking around with the album under your arm. Everybody knew what you liked. But nowadays you can't look at somebody's iPhone and see what they're listening to.
It's also true that we're probably getting old now, but it seems to us that a lot of the younger acts now, they all sound very, very similar. Whereas when we were kids, you only had to hear one chord at the beginning and you thought, that's the Stones, that's the Who, that's Led Zeppelin, that's Grand Funk or whoever. And now you could be anybody. You've got no clue.
Exactly the same with cars. It's a pet one of
my gosh, yes.
Back in the 60s and 70s, you could look at a car. I know what that is. Nowadays, you can't even tell who's making it. They're all the same.
And I remember back in the day too, where you had cars and everything like that. It's like you could order in was it baby blue, hot pink, Power Engine red, forest green, let's see, metallic blue. You can also order in deep purple if you want, especially in the Plymouth Barracudas. And I think it was like, you know, if you order in white or black, you're like, what? But now it's like you only have three colors. You're right. White, black, navy, all that stuff in one shape and everything like that. But yeah, you're right. So it's like, you know, I think I'm ready to go play some music right now and go to my my 67 Camaro. I could play something like that. So I hope everybody's learning to what they're forming with Midnight 5-6 with Simon and Helen. Get that just 1 minute, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. It's powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love you to first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and evil evidence endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today 4 Goes Missing by me and Molson Zia, available on Amazon. Coming soon, Missing 2 by me and Molson Zia, double the suspense, double the fun. Check it out on Amazon. Also brought to you by The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote in his time as a shepherd where it started, and complicate yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. His story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by Sensei Swing. Eric Diamond's release All of Me, features a title track, I've Got a New Heartache, Bring Me Sunshine, Strike a Match, and more. Eric's a multi-award winning artist and to numerous Hall of Fames. Entertainer Album of the Year. He will release a new CD soon. Check out the amazing Eric Diamond today, ericdiamondmusic.com. Also follow on all socials, including YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeart, and more as well. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show, MikeWagnerShow.com, 40 podcast platforms, 100 countries. Tickets with you on any mobile device for great gift ideas. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/me and Molson Zia for great books like Missing, Once, Wrinkles, T-shirts, pop sockets, cool merchandise, and more. Amazon.com, me and Molson Zia, and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here with the amazing singer-songwriting duo from Torquay, UK, Midnight 5-6 here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about some of your music, tell us, how did you come up with the name Midnight 5-6?
Because down the years, I played either myself or with other musicians, essentially doing a show based on cover versions of Eagles hits. And one of those was the Midnight Flyer.
Okay.
So it went through a lot of midnight names. And then I was born 55. Helen was born 56. Midnight 5-6. Simple as that. Nothing complex. It's just as simple as that.
But an interesting thing about it is that we have done stuff on Facebook, and we suddenly found we had a lot of people watching us from the Philippines.
Oh, yes. A big following out there. They love that stuff.
But we couldn't understand what it was, but apparently the phrase 5-6 in the Philippines is to do with money lending. You lend somebody $5 and they pay back $6. And we think that was what got us so popular out there.
I think they thought we were loaded.
We got a lot of people asking for money.
Is it loaded or getting loaded? I guess that's a question you had to answer. Is it loaded or are you getting loaded?
Well,
well, of course, they have both words are popular here, but used with two different meanings. One with illicit substances, and the other one with piles of money.
Yes, we won't talk anything about that. But we have actually made 1 penny on royalties.
Spotify? Was that
on Spotify.
We made a whole UK penny.
Oh, yes. I think that's a really common one on Spotify. Made 1 penny, you're successful, according to Spotify standards.
But we're not quite sure how to declare it for tax, as half a penny each.
Don't say a word about it. The government might hear, so.
I won't say anything if you don't.
Okay. Oh, God. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's like Midnight 5-6 and everything like that. But you also have music out there. You've got When, Wishing I Was Gone, The Sea, and Oooo. And tell us more about When. Let's kick that off.
Well, I don't normally write songs that are reflective of anything in my life. When I do, it's quite rare. So sometimes I get a bit of a lyric, sometimes a bit of a tune. And you can't see it from there, but over here is my desk. And on it, there are 2 piles of paper. One pile is bits of chord structures and the other pile is bits of lyrics. And maybe once a month I sit down and see what can be mashed together. And when literally came out of that. A lot of people read a lot of meaning into it, but it was just a song, just a song. And it's turned into one that Helen particularly likes.
Yes, it is one of my favourites. And that's one of the nice things about, we used to play covers, but I think it's really been good for Simon to try and get his own stuff out there as well.
I've been writing songs for many years, probably through our websites. You've been able to access all the songs we have. And the oldest one is called White Limousine. And I wrote that in 1975.
Oh, wow. I'd like to hear more about that one. That sounds interesting.
Well, I was a very young, highly easily influenced young man. And I was walking around my home city, which is Southend, which is to the east of London on the North Sea coast. So where the River Thames hits the North Sea, that's Southend. And they were filming something either for a movie or for something on TV. And I recognized this young actress. And she came out of wherever it was they were filming and got in a white limousine.
Okay.
And drove off into the distance. And that's what sparked the song. It was as simple as that. I had the name of the song. She climbed inside a white limousine. And then gradually over some weeks, the rest of the song came together. So when you hear our stuff, some of it is like that, pretty old now. Mm-hmm. And some of it's very new, like Wishing I Was Gone, I wrote very recently, only a few weeks before you heard it.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, and that's one of the more popular songs as well, too. A little bit about that. You also have The Sea as well, and a bit more about that.
Well, The Sea is about living in Torquay. It's as simple as that. You can't see, but we're looking out our lounge window here, the family room window.
Oh, nice.
It looks out over the harbour, and it looks out across the bay to the town next door.
Okay.
It's very pretty, very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I can certainly imagine that as well, too. I have it up in the balcony, watch the sea and everything. I mean, I can imagine that. Seriously, I wish I could do a show from up there, the balcony still.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be cool?
Certainly would be. And Helen, we're going to say something, or?
No. I was just rooming out, just thinking how incredible it is that somebody in Bismarck, North Dakota, is talking to us because
about our music.
Yeah,
not that long ago, you'd have never have heard of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we're here for, basically. It's like get the word out there, get the music, talk to great people like you, and ooh, this is one of my favorites. Tell us more about that one.
Well, that is a song that I wrote about how I feel about a person. And it's really, I wrote it as a kind of looking back to the very, very jangly sound of the 60s. So stateside, you had like the Byrds. Here in the UK, we had the Hollies and the Tremolos with a very jangly kind of Rickenbacker guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very, very, almost a naive, childish time to be alive. And the pop songs of the day reflected that. And that's where I was going with that song.
Okay. That sounds like it too. And if there's other music we haven't covered, feel free to talk about those.
Sorry, which one?
No, I said if there's other music out there or something we haven't covered, feel free to talk about those.
I don't think so. I think that your selection there probably covers the range. There's probably one or two of our songs that you wouldn't be allowed to play on a family radio station. you'd probably get into trouble because some of the words are a bit naughty, but and some of them are just pure rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
I think for us, it's the fact that it is just the two of us with a drum machine, and creating not a bad little sound. When we look on the telly, I say things like Lynyrd Skynyrd, there seems to be about 24 people on stage. But I think we produce quite a decent sound just with what little we have.
I think one of the important things is one of the things that belies the fact that we lived through glam rock and punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that the way we approach the songs is I'll write a song, do a demo version to play to Helen, and it's far too complicated. So we throw out most of it and strip it right back. And when you listen carefully, you think, oh yeah, these guys are coming from like the garage, grunge, punk background where it's homemade. And we're very proud of the fact that it is that. There's no frills, there's no lights, there's no bells, there's no overdubs. What you see is the whole thing. There's nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And it is all done in our garden shed, effectively here in Torquay.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually been into a studio.
No.
Would love to, but and one of the amazing things is I try and do the media side of this, and
it's her fault.
I have advertised here in Torquay, the local FM radio. Never even had an answer back.
And yet you're a guy halfway around the world and you picked up on us.
Yeah.
So well done.
We know something. You guys are well done as well, too. And what's coming up for Midnight 5-6 and how do we get a hold of them? We'll find out just 1 minute. It's not the midnight. We'll get to that in literally 1 minute. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundWeb Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author, me and Molson's You're Missing. Also brought to you by the Sweet Summits by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David. Amazon.com, keyword Sweet Summit Serena Wagner, and brought to you by the Sensei of Swing, Eric Diamond, if we get to him right there. With All of Me, I've Got a New Heartache, Strike a Match, and more. EricDiamondMusic.com. Check it out today. We'll be back with the multi-talented Helen and Simon of Midnight 5-6 after this time out. We're back to the multi-talented Simon and Helen of Midnight 5-6 here on the Mike Wagner Show from Torquay, UK, which is okay with me here. And just a couple more things. What else can we expect from you guys in 2025 and beyond?
Well, we are currently rehearsing and releasing bit by bit another set of tracks. So for 2025, we've done 3. We normally do 8 or 9 each year. So when we get to the end of the summer, we stop and then start work on the next lot. And we do already have another pile ready for 2026, but we haven't really started work on those. They're waiting in the wing. So once we've got 2025 recorded and loaded onto the internet and onto Facebook and YouTube and all of the others that Helen takes care of, it's all a mystery to me. Then we'll start work on the next lot. After that, not sure where it goes from there. We'll have to wait and see, because having been writing songs since 1975, well, a bit before, but White Limousine was the first song that was really worth listening to. I really don't have anything else to say. I've kind of said it all. But something might happen and I might think, hey, that needs a song.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And of course, you never know, too. So.
Yeah. An invite from Glastonbury wouldn't go amiss.
Oh, you got that right. You got that right. And where can we find all your music at, guys?
Basically on we're on Spotify, Amazon for the tracks, but our main interest really is on Facebook and YouTube, where we do the videos as well, which gives people a bit more of an idea of what we're doing. So that's really it.
The two harshest critics are probably, I got two kid sisters, and I'm 70 this year, and they're mid-60s, and I'll get something back from them saying, "Hey, that's really great." That means it's really great. And if I get something back that says, "Don't bother with that one again," it means it was rubbish.
Well, then again, it may be rubbish to some, but it could be a gem to others. You never know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that has been a surprise. There's been songs like "Wishing I Was Gone." It was really just an experiment because I hardly ever use a bottleneck.
Okay.
But I thought I'm going to give it a go and see. And the song itself is really, when you read the lyrics, it's a bit of a throwaway, but people like it. And who am I to judge? You know, that's cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I'd like just to say a thank you to Carla Charles of Camelot, who's
big it up for Carla.
We really appreciate all the help that she's given us, and got us onto this show, your show as well. So thank you very much, Carla.
Mm-hmm. And one of the best in the business as well, too. We're here at the multi-talent Midnight 5-6, Simon and Helen here on the Mike Wedner Show from the UK. Just a few more things. I think we cover 2025. Who do you consider biggest influences in your careers?
Goodness gracious. For me, probably musically was probably my mother. She didn't play a musical instrument, but she had the most lovely voice. Nice. And sometimes people say, "God, you've got a nice voice." And I say, "Well, blame my mum." It's her fault. And she always encouraged me, if you want to do that, if you aren't hurting anybody, then you go for it, but make sure you do the best you can. Typical mom, I guess.
You got it, yes. And then how about you, Helen?
I think in terms of bass guitar playing, I always used to love listening to the Beatles with Paul McCartney and his bass lines. I still don't think I've ever heard anybody who's done such lyrical ones. And of course, John Martyn. But not that we do anything really like that, but as an influence, John Martyn, I think, was just fabulous.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming that you know who John Martyn is.
Yes, I heard of him. And in fact, there was a connection to it when I was listening to Genesis and, Phil Collins, Tony Banks and all that. His name was tied in there somehow. And I got to listen to it. And he was really amazing, John Martyn.
Yes, it's such a shame. He had a very, very bad drink problem, and people assume he drank himself to death, but he did not. He bled out in the operating theatre having a surgical procedure done.
Oh, wow.
And yet he was such a talented guy. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And Helen, you going to say something here?
No, I was just puffed out from all the excitement, to be honest. I need to go and have a puff as well.
This is one of life's very naughty girls. She smokes, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, we know how it is. I truly understand that. It's like living the good old days. Yes, it's like, you have to worry about this, worry about that, but that'll be another time. And what's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point in general?
Believe in yourself. Don't let other people tell you how it should be done. Doesn't matter if it's music or not. If you think that the way you're doing it is good, stick to it. Just follow your own path.
Yes, and I think just don't think that it's a lot more complicated than it really is.
Yeah, music is very simple. Western music only has 12 notes, 7 white ones, 5 black ones. And when you think everything from Bach to the Beatles came out of those 12 notes. It's amazing. It's actually a very simple thing. It's mostly mathematics. But don't let anybody, because often people say, oh, you can't play it that way. You've got to play it this way. No, I haven't. Go away. I'll play it my way.
Yeah, and if it sounds good,
if it sounds good, it is good.
It does, yeah, and I think that's the best advice out there. So just play what you want, everyone out there who's watching and listening. We're here at the Multi-Town Midnight 5-6, Simon and Helen here on the Mike Wagner Show. Guys, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Great to have you on. Looking forward to having you soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love to have you back. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
The best way, I'll hand you over to my technical advisor.
Just contact us on Facebook or YouTube.
If you just enter Midnight 5-6 into your search engine, it will take you straight to our Facebook and YouTube pages.
And we always like to have messages from people.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. We'll definitely check that out. Once again, guys, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you soon.
Thank you for your time, Mike. It's very kind of you.
Yes,
and no problem. And don't forget to keep in touch. Keep us up to date. Love to be back. We wish all best. And guys, you definitely have a great future ahead.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.